Hi Flosstube, it's Adele back for my second video, and this is probably about my 15th attempt at starting it. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who commented on my last video and liked and subscribed to my channel. Really appreciate it. Also, I know I got a few shout outs this month, so Gem Stitch and Crafty Creative Claire and Tina Simply in Stitches. I met them all at the Crewe retreat and they are lovely ladies. Gem and Claire, we all sat on the same table together and it was such a laugh. It was brilliant. Speaking of retreats, not long after my last video, we went to, I say we, me, Michelle, my friend Michelle, went to the Crewe retreat, and we'd actually extended that one by a day either side, so it was 4 days. It was absolutely amazing, or 4 nights. We had a brilliant time. I met up with some of the ladies that I met last year at Crewe, and that was really good. I sat next to Lucy Slater, who does Flosstube videos, did Flosstube videos, should do again. Love her. And thanks to her, I got a lot of progress on Acorns. I made a start, although it's a really poor attempt at a start, because I wanted to get more done on Acorns. I started Stargazer because both Michelle and I are stitching this one on the same fabric, funnily enough, just mine's linen and hers isn't. And it's Dusk by Sparklies. It's opalescent, not sure you can even see that, but it fades from like a really pale bluey to pink to darker blue at the top. So my tiny pathetic start is that, but I'm going to get back to it because I want to make a decent start on it. I'm just really concentrating on Acorns at the moment and trying to get that done with just a little project in between just to keep me going. I got some gifts at the retreat, so my friend Michelle bought me this one by Plum Street Samplers. More bees, more Plum Street. She knows how to make me happy. And this one I've wanted for quite a while. It's by Kathy Barrack. It's Heaven and Nature Sing. Oh, tons of glare. There we go. And this one I never really liked until I saw Kitten Stitcher stitch it for Jen's Stitching Knit. Oh my god, I loved it. So I've wanted it ever since, and now I've got it. I've just got to kit it up. I want to do it in hand-dyed, or mostly hand-dyed. I've just got to convert it because it actually only gives DMC or MPI silks. The first day of the retreat we arrived, so my friend Michelle drove down from Scotland and I drove up, and we'd made a plan that we would go to the Nimble Thimble. It's about an hour and a half. Was it an hour and a half? Yeah, about an hour and a half from the retreat. So I drove us there, and she had a sale on Lizzie Kate. So I bought this series, which is double flip series. Will be like that. This one she had already as a model. There were tons of models in the shop, so she had it already as a model, and I just loved it and had to have it. So it comes with all of the charms, and hopefully I'll get to start that this year, although trying to curb the starts. I think I had enough in Mania. I do have one planned soon though, at least. Also, she had a sale on this, and it actually came with the pins, the charm, and the chenille to finish it. £15. So I was really happy with that. So can't wait to start that. These ones, I got some free Shepherd's Bush charts that came with beautiful little. They didn't come with them. You bought the button for a price, and then you got the chart. So, Long May You Wave and Boo to You. I'll just probably do those in DMC. And then the next one I also saw on the wall, didn't buy it, walked out of the shop, got back to the retreat and spent the whole way back telling Michelle that I wish I'd bought it, which isn't the first time I've done that to Michelle. Wish I bought it, I wish I bought it, should have bought it. And then when we got back to the retreat, there was some ladies heading over there. Was it that evening or the next day? I can't remember. And I asked them to find out how much it was when they got there and let me know, and I'd phone up and buy it if it was a price that I was willing to pay, and they could bring it back for me, which they did. So this is the Drawn Thread Christmas Thoughts sampler, and this was on the wall and it was absolutely stunning, and it's the whole kit. So really happy with that. Wanted to start it straight away, but was working on Acorns. I was being good, being very good. So after getting back from the retreat, I didn't have much time to stitch. We've had sickness with my daughter, and recently I've been sick, and it's been really hot, and we've had all sorts of stuff to do, so I haven't had much stitching. But I was desperate to get this scissor fob finished that I was working on previously. So it's by Little House Needleworks, and it's called Wool Needle Book and Scissor Fob, I think. I haven't got the chart with me, it's away, but so I did this one previously, which is the needle book. I changed all the colours because actually when I pulled all the colours and started stitching with them, they were really, really dark, and I believe these might have been purple, and I'm not a massive fan of purple. So I decided to change them so they were a bit springy. I made these slightly lighter. Not 100% happy with it, but much happier than I was with it. So because I'd changed all the colours, I wanted to immediately get onto the scissor fob because it's exactly the same, whilst I knew what all the colours were and had them all pulled and everything. So when I got back, that one I finished prior to the last video, but this one I've finished since. This is the scissor fob that goes with it. So I've just got to fully finish them now, make them all up. The other project that I've been mostly working on, so since finishing that, I've been trying to work on Acorns as and when I can, and then when I don't have the time to get all the stuff out, because I don't leave it all out because I've got my 2.5-year-old, nearly 3-year-old, who likes to cross stitch with me when she can. If not, pretty sure she would try and do it on her own, on mine, so it all goes away. So I have, oh, I've got a thread on the front, never mind. So the other thing that I've been trying to get finished is Babushka's bees. Let's see if I can put this behind it. So this is my working copy, but this is what it will look like when it's finished. Another plum streak, another bees. Surprise, surprise. Donna, bees. And this is where I am with it. So this is on Drapple Brown by XG Designs, 40 count, with the cool 4 colours. The only thing I had to change was the fence, because the fence is meant to be antique lace, I believe, but it just wasn't showing up. So I've changed it for DMC Blanc. But the rest of it is all the cool 4 colours. Looks quite dark in here for some reason, but so that's that. So I haven't got much to do. I've literally just got to finish Babushka, and she's got a beehive that I'm just working on now. So she's got a beehive in her hand here, and then I've just got her skirt and the hickory sticks left to fill in on her, and then she is finished. That's the cord 4 threads on her. So the last thing that I've been working on is my Acorns. Rubbish picture. And this one at the retreat, so I'd already started it before the retreat. I started it in Mania. Once I got to the retreat and started working on it, I finished the top band, I'd done part of the top band, went to pull the next colour, and as I say, I was sat next to Lucy Slater, and the colour was just horrific. I can't even describe them. And so me and Lucy were having a laugh and kind of say, oh my God, I can't stitch it in that, I can't. It wasn't anything like the picture at all, and wasn't what I was expecting. So Lucy, lovely lady, sat next to me stitching while I went through each band, and we ended up basically replacing the colours that were awful, and trying to make it a bit more like the cover and like what I wanted, because it's obviously in memory of my stepdad. And so one of the things is it's got blue in it, and he always wore blue check shirts, plaid shirts I guess you would call it, and so I would go into stores sometimes and they would have racks of different types of blue shirts, and I remember taking photos of them and sending them to my mum and saying, oh, it's Paul's shop. So the picture actually has blue in it. So some of the acorns are blue, up here. So it does actually have the blue in it, but when I pulled them, as I say, they were awful, and they didn't go with the water lilies that were in it. They just didn't go with any of it really. So I have unfortunately just yesterday rolled the scroll bars up, so you're not necessarily, in fact, I wonder if I move them down a bit if you'll be able to see it. So let's see what we can see. Can't really. So the top band here, that is the top of it, just up there, so you've got all the stitch, and then they're the acorns that you can see. And then, so these are all these are satin stitched, then with the back stitch. Each of these dividing bands are another type of stitch. These are all queen stitch, these ones, with some cross stitch and back stitch. Again, another dividing band. And then I believe we've got road stitches, more satin stitched acorns, another dividing band, and then these are 1/1 acorns. And they are taking forever. So that is what I'm tackling today. So yesterday I did some of those acorns, and then just had enough, and I was thinking, I need to put this down, I need to work on something else, but I really wanted to make the progress, so I just started the dividing band underneath. Then as I stitched the dividing band, I got to the end and thought, those acorns look amazing, I need to go back to them. So I went back and I stitched a few more. So today I plan to stitch a few, and then work on the next band down a bit, and then come back and stitch a few more and work on the band below, stitch a few more until they're all done, and hopefully so is the band below. That's the plan, but we'll see. So really happy with my progress on that. Well, I am happy, but I was hoping to be much further along by now, but as I say, just haven't been stitching. So my plan was to finish it, hopefully finish it by August the 11th. But it's now not going to be finished, or very unlikely to be finished by August the 11th. But if I can get as much done as I can, I'll be really happy with that, and then I can still kind of half give it to her, but say I need to finish it, and then just really crack on and try and finish it. It's a shame that I don't think it will be done, but I'll work as hard as I can on it and see where I get. So that is all of my WIPs. If I'm looking, I've got notes because I'll just forget everything. So, start, finish. Yeah. since my last video, I won a competition on Facebook. So it was held by Silks For You, and it was to win a hank. And me being me, couldn't decide which one I wanted. And I looked at some patterns, and there's an antique Violande sampler that I'd like to do and that I've seen, and but I couldn't decide what thread to do it in. And then there's actually two. There's one by Long Dog, and then there's an actual antique one, and then I couldn't decide what colours. So in the end I just had to decide, so I went for like a muted red. It's like a dusky red. That looks a bit pink there, but it is more like a dusky red. Quite muted and dull looking, but I liked that idea for the antique one. Or I ended up buying one as well. I was a right sucker with the old yeah, have a free one, spend lots of money. And then there's this one. So it goes to a darker red that I really like. I'm just really not sure about this bright red. And now actually in the video it doesn't look so vibrant, but it's really, really red. I can't even describe it. So I really like this dark bit, and then it goes into that. But it's just this really bright bit that I'm not sure on. Don't know. I still haven't chosen the chart, and I'm not going to start it anytime soon, but I've got them there for when I do start them. And then I also added some of their bits packs. So these are kind of the ends of hanks, I think. So they're pretty much full skeins. Don't know whether they're 100% full skeins, but yeah, pretty much. And I wanted these because these are sort of things that I can replace threads for and use these instead quite easily, because they're only like one skein. Excuse my nails, they're horrific and need redoing. So that's what I got from Silks For You. And then I was watching Suzette, Primitive Stitcher, and we've got a lot of similar tastes in stitching. Some of the things I'm stitching or have stitched, she stitched. A lot of the stuff in my stash she's shown, or I know that she's got. But this one chart she showed in her video that I was watching, I don't think I've done this before, but I stopped the video and went to find it and bought it, and then messaged her and said, do you want to really slow stitch along, because I'm not going to be stitching it up quick anytime soon. So she replied and said she'd love to. So it's this one by Butternut Road, and it's Summer Sampler with the bee at the top. It's got a little butterfly. I absolutely love this. I can't wait to start it. So we've been chatting over like Instagram and that about getting the threads and fabric. I still haven't decided on the fabric. I need to go and look through my stash and see what I've got. It actually says, and I didn't realise this, Suzette noticed it, and she mentioned it at some point, and I just hadn't clicked onto it, but it's meant to be stitched on 18 count, no problem with 18 count, but 18 count, 1/2. Over 2 on 18 count would be huge. So I thought it was strange that it called for watercolours, because they're obviously more like a pearl cotton and like a pearl 5, number 5. And I thought, oh, that's going to be really thick on 18 count. But it's obviously stitched over 2, that's why. So I decided to go, instead of watercolours, So&So were having a sale on their, well, certainly on their wildflowers, and these are more like between a pearl 8 and 12, I believe. So you just use one strand, So you just use one strand and then just, yeah, stitch it like that. So I think I'm gonna stitch it on maybe a 36 count. I'll have to test the coverage and see what it's like. The coverage with these on 36 over 1 will probably be nice actually. 40 count it might be a bit thick, so maybe 36. I'll have a look. I need to try. But the colours are absolutely stunning. I love them. The only annoying thing is that they managed to send me everything except 2 of the colours, this one being one of them. You can't even, oh there you go. It's like a purpley, pinky reddy with different colours through it. 3 of the colours you need 2 of, and that's the other one. That one, and then those 2 I have 2 of. So 3 of the colours you need 2 of, and 2 of those colours they only sent me 1 and back ordered the others. Now as these are hand-dyed threads, I phoned them to say I need 2 from the same dye lot because they're for the same project. And the lady on the phone told me that they can't ever do that because they just get what they're given from their supplier. They don't order direct from Karen, so there's no guarantee it will ever be from the same dye lot. They don't guarantee that. And what was it she said to me? So we don't lie. Well, I never said she lied. So I basically said, well, when they come in, if they don't match, can I send them back? And she said, yes, that's fine. So I'm hoping that when they do send them, just by chance, they at least are very similar in colour. And I don't have to send them back because I just want to get on and stitch it, really. I love these colours. So that is my planned new start for hopefully August. Other than that, today I'm just going to get back to Acorns, and that's probably what I'm going to be stitching most of over the next month. Hopefully finishing Babushka's bees, and then I will pick another smallish WIP that I can work on in between working on Acorns. Can't stop saying but I think that's it. So I'll leave it there. Hopefully it's a shortish video, and I'll come back to you next month with another update and maybe finishes, some of my finishes next month, and yeah, see how I go. So see you next month hopefully. Bye.